First of all, let's go straight to this story just breaking moments ago here. We are hearing from Mueller's office, basically a statement there from Mueller's office that disputes BuzzFeed's report, which said President Trump told Michael Cohen to lie to Congress. Your thoughts on that, James?
Well, for people who don't know, BuzzFeed is a website for young adults, and it was kind of odd that this was immediately embraced to begin with. This is the website that published the dossier with all of the made-up, bizarre claims.
In other words, I think it's important that you keep saying website as opposed to news site because, you know, some young people think it's news. Your point, I think, and it's a point well taken. This is not a news place. No news organization would publish the dossier because there was no way to verify any of it to begin with, let alone the FBI actually used it to get a FISA warrant. But continue your thought. This website, BuzzFeed.
But what's disturbing is you saw a lot of things disturbing, but the House Intelligence Committee Chairman, Adam Schiff, the House Judiciary Committee Chairman, Jerry Nadler, immediately embracing this as if it was a serious report that they had to act on and immediately investigate. I think it tells you how fair a hearing the president is going to get in this new Democratic House and how seriously they take the search for the truth as opposed to the search for any tool in the shed to attack the president.
Right. So, in other words, there is no search for the truth. Unfortunately, it's all gotten, you know, bogged down in politics. And whether it's the Mueller situation or whether it's the wall or whether it's the shutdown, politics is the name of the game. Antjuan, how does it change, and what's your reaction to this this notice here, this statement from Mueller's team saying, yeah, that BuzzFeed report that you're all so excited about there in the Democratic Party, no go?
Trish, let's all take a deep breath. Without reading the special prosecutor's statement directly, what I think the statement said was that the specifics did not line up. I think that's what the special prosecutor's statement said. But regardless of that, I am more singing from the tune of...
I don't know. So are you hoping that like somehow you still believe what BuzzFeed is trying to say, and are you disputing what Mueller's office is saying now? Just want to know where you come from.
No, Trish, Trish, I was about to say, I sing from the tune of my leader, Mr. Clyburn, when he said, let's not get ahead of the special prosecutor until we hear his final report. And that's where I've been throughout this entire process, even on your show a number of times.
I said, let the special prosecutor... Your party, not so much.
Well, now listen, I can only speak for Antjuan Seawright. I can't speak for everyone under this big tent called the Democratic Party because there are a lot of us. What I do believe is that we have to be patient, Democrats and Republicans, and let the special prosecutor do his work, finish his report, and then we'll pass judgment after that. Until then, everything else is just noise and allowed circus.
It would be nice if other members of your party, and I hear you, and you know what, Antjuan, it's one of the reasons I always like having you on. And, you know, the only thing you can do is, I think, be honest these days, and I appreciate you saying you want to wait and see. My frustration with all of this, however, James Freeman, is that, to me, the investigation that really should be happening, I don't believe is. And the investigation that should be happening is why on earth did our FBI take a piece of opposition research paid for, as we learned, by the way, Bruce Orr told them. Right. The Clinton campaign's paying for this. Take this and use this as gospel and never bother to tell the judge who was behind it. I mean, that's just bizarre.
And I think scary for a lot of Americans to learn how little it takes for the government to get a FISA warrant, to be able to turn the investigative powers of the United States, which were created for surveillance purposes, sold to us as national security tools, for us to learn how easy it was to turn this on a rival political campaign. We've been joking about the authority of BuzzFeed. Remember, it was Yahoo News that was used as justification to get one of these FISA warrants. So the bar under the Obama administration was so low to start spying on the political opposition. It's just frightening. And I wish all members of the House Democratic leadership had Antjuan's attitude about waiting for the facts. A year ago, Jerry Nadler, House Judiciary Chairman, sold himself to his colleagues as the top Democrat on that committee because he was the impeachment guy. He told them he was the impeachment expert.
Politics as usual. Antjuan, you disagreed with something in there. What was it?
Yeah, keep in mind, these were Republican judges who allowed these FISA warrants to go through. So I want you to all keep this in perspective when we have this conversation.
But Antjuan, what would you do if you were the judge? The FBI, and you assume the FBI actually dots its I's and crosses its T's and has some sense of where they're getting the information. The FBI didn't think it was important enough for the judge to actually know that this stuff was paid for by the Hillary Clinton campaign. The judge had no idea. And that, sir, is wrong.
Well, Trish, I don't know how you see it, but I see it like this. There should be a wall up, and justices are supposed to do their job by the called balls and strikes as they see it, regardless of who is asking or what they're asking them to do. But I do want to say this about the BuzzFeed publication.
If there's going to be a wall, you've got to trust that the
heat.
FBI has the right intentions. And I've mentioned this before. I'm a journalist. James is a journalist. No journalist, and by the way, BuzzFeed, once again, not a journalist organization, because nobody ever should have published something that they couldn't actually verify themselves. No one published that initially, and the reason they didn't publish it was because it could not be verified, and it read, frankly, like a tabloid magazine you'd see at the checkout counter at the supermarket, right? So why does our FBI take a bunch of tabloid junk that they haven't verified, that they know is paid for by the Hillary Clinton campaign, and say this is important enough that we're going to get a FISA warrant? Can you answer that question for me, Antjuan?
Trish, let me say this. If you saw Steny Hoyer, Leader Hoyer's posture when he was asked whether this should be about impeachment, he didn't answer the question. He said he did not want to go there. So there were a lot of people making noise on social media about the BuzzFeed publication. But what I heard from members of Congress, with the exception of a few, is let's not lose focus on the task at hand. Let's focus on keeping opening up our government, and let's not get caught up on what we should allow the special prosecutor to do.
Final thought?
Well, let's just hope that that is the thought of a lot of members of the House right now. It's obviously hard to believe, but I think that would be a refreshing change
well, there are receipts on that part.
The abuses we saw in 2016.
James, it's good to see you. Thank you so much. Okay,
Thanks.
Antjuan, thank you.